Welcome to the Explainer. Today we're diving headfirst into one of the most highly anticipated Battle Lab matchups in the whole comic book universe. It's the Merc with a Mouth, Deadpool, going toe-to-toe with your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. We're going to break down the exact stats, their unique abilities, and the ultimate win conditions to see exactly who comes out on top in a head-to-head clash. But hey, before we get into the data and reveal the final verdict, I want you to lock in your pick right now. Seriously, if these two cross paths and decided to settle things once and for all, who wins in a fair fight? Take a second, lock it in your head. Okay, got it? Let's let the numbers tell the story. Now, to make this a truly scientific analysis, we're running this simulation using standard rules of engagement. What does that mean? Well, we're looking at both characters in their peak current canon. They only have access to their standard gear, so no specialized armors, no cosmic weapons, and absolutely no prep time. They're topped right into a neutral arena, and most importantly, the winner is decided by a knockout or total incapacitation. This isn't necessarily a fight to the death, and as we'll see, that distinction changes the whole shebang.
Section 1. By the numbers. Let's get into it.
Breaking down their stats on a scale out of 100, Spider-Man actually holds a pretty distinct advantage in the overall rating, sitting at a 76 compared to Deadpool's 69. And when you look a bit closer, Peter Parker outclasses Wade Wilson in strength, speed, and intelligence. But hey, don't count the mercenary out just yet. Deadpool absolutely dominates in one very specific, very stubborn category, and that's durability.
What's really fascinating here is the stark contrast in their biggest advantages. Deadpool boasts a massive 95 in durability, which literally dwarfs Spider-Man's 65. On the flip side, Spider-Man's clearest edge is in power, sitting at a 70 compared to Deadpool's 45. So we've got an incredibly durable fighter going up against a significantly more powerful one. It's a classic unstoppable force versus immovable object situation.
But before any matchup-specific counters are applied, the absolute closest battleground is pure combat skill. Deadpool actually edges out Spider-Man in raw combat proficiency here, 90 to 85. This right here, this is where the fight actually gets incredibly interesting.
Section 2. The case for Deadpool.
So let's build the prosecution's case first and look at exactly how Deadpool could win this fight. I mean, on paper, his overall score might be lower, but his specific skill set makes him an absolute nightmare for almost any opponent. Deadpool brings a master-level proficiency in virtually every weapon known to man. He's got centuries of combat experience and a total willingness to use lethal weapons. We're talking guns, swords, explosives, giving him aggressive options that Spider-Man just won't touch. Plus, Wade fights dirty. He relies on a chaotic, unpredictable, fourth-wall-breaking style that Peter Parker's strict moral code just won't allow him to replicate.
The absolute crucial point for Wade Wilson is his famous healing factor. It means that you simply cannot win a battle of physical attrition against him. You could hit him all day long, but he physically cannot be put down for good. He's always going to get back up. And man, this puts a truly terrifying, almost insurmountable amount of stamina pressure on whoever he's fighting.
As the Battle Lab analysis perfectly notes, this creates a very specific win condition for Deadpool. If his sheer, unadulterated chaos can somehow bypass Peter's incredible defenses, well, just one clean katana strike could end the fight instantly. He literally only needs to get lucky once.
Section 3. The case for Spider-Man.
Now let's examine the defense and lay out the absolute strongest case for your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. How exactly does he deal with an immortal, heavily armed ninja? Well, Spider-Man counters with vastly superior speed and agility, meaning Wade's bullets and blades are rarely going to find their mark. He also possesses his famous precognitive danger sense and web shooters that can completely immobilize a target at range. Most importantly, though, he has a massive intelligence gap in his favor, a 90 compared to Wade's 70, allowing him to brilliantly utilize the surrounding environment, like buildings, to his absolute advantage.
And we absolutely can't forget this massive number, 10. That is the amount of tons Spider-Man can lift thanks to his proportional spider strength. I mean, think about that. When it comes to hand-to-hand combat, Peter can easily overpower Deadpool, completely dominating the physical exchange simply because he hits so much harder.
Furthermore, Peter's spider sense is the ultimate hard counter to Wade's unpredictability. Wade heavily relies on psychological warfare to throw opponents off, but the spider sense, it doesn't care about jokes or insults or erratic movements. It strictly reads the physical threat and reacts before Deadpool even commits to an action. Mechanically speaking, it essentially renders Wade's greatest tactical advantage completely useless.
Moving on to Section 4, the deciding factors.
to figure out who walks away the victor here, we actually have to redefine what it means to win this specific matchup. The most critical realization, really the true win condition pivot, is that Spider-Man doesn't actually need to kill Deadpool. As we've established, that's physically impossible anyway. According to the standard rules of engagement we outlined at the start, Spider-Man simply needs to achieve incapacitation.
And comparing their win conditions reveals a pretty fatal flaw for Deadpool. Wade's tactic is basically to survive the onslaught and eventually deal lethal damage. But his incredibly formidable healing factor is completely neutralized by a non-lethal opponent. Spider-Man can just web him up into a cocoon, hang him upside down from a skyscraper, and casually walk away. I mean, healing really doesn't matter if you can't even move your arms, right?
Section 5. The final verdict.
Okay, so we've analyzed the stats, we've weighed the counters, and we've established the true win conditions. The Battle Lab officially gives the edge to Spider-Man. While on paper it might look kind of close, in a straight battle, Peter's superior stats across the board allow him to safely control the encounter from start to finish. His speed, his strength, and that incredible spider sense allow him to dictate exactly how and where the fight takes place.
Ultimately, the fight breaks down decisively into a few steps. First, Spider-Man uses his overwhelming stats to control the physical brawl. Second, he utilizes his superior intelligence and gear to immobilize Deadpool entirely with his webbing. And third, well, left dangling from a building, Deadpool just does what he does best. He regenerates any minor damage, cracks a joke about being beaten up by a teenager, and probably suggests they just go get tacos instead. Honestly, it's a clear victory for Spider-Man. But it does leave us with a fascinating question to ponder as we wrap up this explainer. Spider-Man's intelligence and his use of the environment played a huge role here. So what if we took away all the buildings, the skyscrapers, and all those environmental advantages, leaving them in a completely flat, featureless arena? Would Deadpool's relentless chaos and lethal arsenal finally be enough to break the spider? Think about that and keep exploring the incredible data behind these iconic matchups.